Do you know the 3 things you need to manage to be productive after school? Do you know that working long hours makes you less productive? And do you know what a brain dump is and why you should use it? So hey, this is Chetna and you're watching ChetChat. And this is ChetChat's masterclass on how to be productive after school. And today I'm going to give you 10 hacks to be more productive after school and 1 bonus tip. But before we get to that, we need to press the subscribe button, and the bell icon right next to it is super important for you to get your notifications every time we go online, and give us a thumbs up if you like our work. And I also want to give a quick shout out to Shamta Agarwal for sending this cute message to us on our previous video. And if you want a shout out on our next video, put a comment right under this video with the hashtag ChetChatters. Productivity tip number 1. Design your farm. Now let's assume your teacher gave each one of your classmates a fixed plot of land and a fixed amount of money to invest on it and said, hey, let's see whose farm is going to be the most productive by the end of the year. And the first thing, you're going to decide which are the crops that have the most demand, how much should I invest in which aspect of farming, etc. Just like that, we need to design what we want to achieve at the end of the year. Make a vision and remember, you reap what you sow. So dream big and let that be your motivator to make you achieve big as well. So the 3 things that you have to manage in order to be productive after school are time, energy and attention. Productivity tip number 2, beware of ego depletion. Willpower is a muscle. You strengthen it every day, but it gets tired sometimes. Just like after a major exam, it takes you about 2 weeks to come back to actually start working again. So instead of relying on willpower, most successful people depend on disciplined scheduling. Now we have a number of great timetables for you to go back and refer to, and I'm going to drop links for you in the description box. And the smart productivity tip here is to manage your time like Goldilocks. Not too much and not too little, just like the water that you're going to put on your farm. Enough to get you into the flow, but not to burn you out. Chris Bailey, the author of the Productivity Project, says that working for longer hours actually reduces your productivity. And Stanford researchers have found that when your work week crosses the 50-hour mark, your productivity actually falls, which is around 7 hours of intensely focused work per day. Productivity tip number 3, which I call moments of focus. Now, if you're a bodybuilder, you know that the periods of rest between intense training sessions actually facilitate the growth of muscles. Similarly, our brain needs time to grow. So when you've just finished a long, engaging session of work, don't immediately rush and pick up your social media or your phone. At that time, either take a warm shower, a long walk, or brush your dog's hair. Scientists call this the incubation period because when you relax your conscious mind, your subconscious mind in the meantime that had been working on the problem rises to the fore and plants the answer and solution into the conscious mind, and eureka, in these moments of focus, you sometimes get that answer right there. How to be productive after school? Tip number 4 is morning routine. Now, I struggled with low productivity for months, causing stress and dissatisfaction until I found my 90-minute perfect slot in the morning. And most successful people will tell you that the one thing they do is have a morning routine that's non-negotiable. So I focus on the one single task that requires the most amount of concentration and attention, and I suggest to you to try it for just 1 month. And I guarantee you that you'll see a surge in your productivity. Tip number 5 is make the most of your commute time. Now, many of us spend a considerable number of hours commuting to and from school, sometimes going to a tuition class, etc. We can utilize this time either to listen to audiobooks or to podcasts, or for instance, if you're applying for the medical entrance exam and you know you have a ton of images to go through, or if you're writing the CAT exam, you could perhaps solve a puzzle on the train or the bus. how to be productive after school. Tip number 6 is brain dump. In his book, Getting Things Done, David Allen urges us to look at the brain as a limited resource, just like your smartphone. So if you download too many photos, videos, music files, etc. onto your phone, it gets slow and inefficient. Similarly, the brain is not designed to store lots and lots of information. Brain dump is a way to untangle the brain. Make lists. Write down everything from to-do lists, exam preparation list, assignment list, homework list, I don't know. But make a lot of lists, clear out your brain, and when you do that, you'll find that your brain now is able to focus on the most important tasks of problem solving and coming up with new ideas. Tip number 7 is build a fence. Now go back to the farm that you were constructing. And the first thing you would do to keep out stray animals and encroachers is to build a fence around the farm. Similarly, we need to build a fence around our work. I recommend the rule of 3. Set yourself 3 big goals for the entire week. Make sure that these three goals are in line with that vision. And for every single day, pick up one big goal. Focusing on one task for the longest period of time is the best way to get into the flow of productivity. The fence prevents unimportant items from creeping in and taking up our time. I find the Google extension Momentum very essential for me to focus on that single task and keep my productivity high. Tip number 8 is called the tight bubble of total focus. Robin Sharma coined this term as a method to 100x your productivity. Cal Newport, in his book Deep Work, calls this the bubble space. Basically, what it is to find yourself this exclusive space where you can go in and study without any disturbance. Make it the way you like it, but ideally clutter-free and well-lit. I have tried this and it is absolutely fail-proof. Keep your phone and other distractions away. Enter the space only when you want to study or work and leave immediately after that. How to be productive after school? Tip number 9 is called digital minimalisation. Now, one of the biggest problems that we could potentially face on our farm is that of weeds. These tiny little plants will come out of nowhere, take up all the space and resources that our existing plants require and leave no space or room for our plants to grow. Likewise, the digital distractions that enter our brain take up our space, energy and resources, leave us depleted with no time and energy to focus on our work, and what's worse, we're unable to sleep at night as well. So here's what I suggest. Look at each one of your digital engagements. Take the TikTok app for example. Is it really essential for you to concentrate on your work? So digital minimalisation will help you remove the weeds from your brain so you can focus entirely on that intense activity that you set out to do during the week. How to be productive after school? Tip number 10 is just begin. You know, the best way to get into the flow of productivity is to just start the work. Now let's assume you have to write this long research article. How about you just open the Word document, write the title, write your name, maybe start writing a line or two about the introduction. Now guess what? The Zeigarnik effect, which we spoke about in a previous video on study smart, not study hard, that is going to start playing in your mind and it will urge you to complete the task at the earliest. And now for the bonus tip. It's what I call crop rotation. Just like on your farm, you sometimes need to plant different types of crops in order to bring in various nutrients into the soil. Likewise, we need to engage with that content in various different ways. So sometimes you could read, sometimes you could make notes, write a journal, maybe teach your younger brother, see a video, keeps our mind productive, gives us a 360-degree view of the topic, and also brings in variety and keeps us interested. So that's all from me for now. I hope you enjoyed this session. If any of these tips benefited you, please write in the comment section under the video and tell me which one worked for you. And in the meantime, press the subscribe button and the bell icon right next to it. Give us a thumbs up if you like our work, and happy watching.